Hello everyone. In this one, I'm going to be talking about how narcissists react when you leave. If you were their grade A source of supply and they weren't finished with you yet, they weren't done all of the things that they were wanted to do with you, they didn't get everything that they wanted to get, if you were still a steady and stable source of attention, validation and resources, they're not gonna want to let you go. So if you're trying to leave, they're gonna try and pull you back in some sort of way. And they may utilize all sorts of different methods to try and keep you trapped, to try and keep you tied to them. They may return back to the love bombing phase. They may act like now they're going to be everything that you always wanted them to be. And of course, if you do choose to stay, it's just a matter of time until they switch it up on you again. Until they return back to the way that they were before. Only this time it's going to get worse, because the second time you go back, the third time you go back, the more you go back, the more it gets worse. They normalize this abusive behavior. And they feel justified. They feel like that they have a right to treat you that way. So even when they're love bombing you, even when they're giving you fake apologies, the false epiphanies, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a tactic. But they won't always love bomb you. They'll only do that if they think that you're still susceptible to their manipulation. If they think that you're still going to be under their spell. If they think that they can still get you to do what they want you to do. But if they know that you're not going to fall for that tactic, you're not going to fall for the love bombing, then of course they're not even going to use it. They're not even going to try it. And instead what they will do is utilize further devaluation, further putting you down, further making you question your own worth and abilities, to make you think that you can't make it on your own. Or sometimes they'll play the victim. They will act like you did something to them, as though everything was your fault, as though everything that went wrong in the relationship, everything that they caused, is now your responsibility to fix. And they will play on your empathy. If that doesn't work, they will spread rumors about you. They will tell everyone that you're crazy, that you're the abuser, you're the narcissist. You did something to them, and now you have to pay. You have to be pulled back. You have to come back and do more for them. If that doesn't work, they may even coerce and intimidate you, forcing you into their desired position so that they can further exploit you. In some cases, they may use brainwashing, trying to get inside your head, trying to get you to see things differently, distort reality, gaslighting you, rewriting the past, doing anything just to get you to focus on them, to get you to see them in the way that they would like. And other times, if they feel like nothing else is going to work, they may even use legal and financial manipulation. They may drag you through the courts. They may abuse you with the law. They will do anything. They will utilize anything that they think is going to work, whatever's going to keep you trapped with them. They want to keep you trapped with them because they still need you. You're their grade A source of supply. You give them a sense of control over themselves and their lives, a sense of superiority and control. And it's because if we go back to the beginning of the relationship, they manipulated you. They gave you a false character. They lied to you. They future faked. And then when you start to see through it, they had to abuse you. They had to gaslight you, confuse you, to make you think that it was all your fault or that you need to do better. They twisted everything around on you. because they wanted to keep you stuck, still trying to serve them. They wanted to make you question yourself, to not know who you are, to not know how wonderful of a person that you are. Because by them doing that, by them taking you out yourself, by them distracting you, it keeps you subservient to them, under their control, which is exactly where they want you. They want you to keep doing for them, keep giving to them, providing your attention, validation, and resources, making them feel superior, validated, and in control. They have to get that from you because they're fake. And this is why they're so manipulative, deceptive. They're con artists. They tricked you, exploited you. So this is why they have to do that, because they still need you. They know that you still have more value to give. They know that there's more to you than that. They know that you have more energy. You have more life to give. You have more resources that you can give to them. You can give them more supply. And this is why they will try to hold on to you. They won't let you go. They will continue manipulating you, deceiving you, exploiting you, doing anything they can to keep you trapped. If this video is making sense to you, give it a thumbs up. Thank you. But what if they've already used you up? What if they've already exploited you for all your worth and they don't believe that they can get anything more out of you? Then if that's the case, they're going to want to let you go. Especially if they've run up a certain amount of debt with you, especially if they've been exploiting you for such a long time. And now it's time for them to reciprocate. Now you're pressuring them, you're expecting something back from them. You're confronting them. And you're not falling for the future faking anymore, you want it now. You want something back in return. Or maybe you're going through something. Maybe you're experiencing a sickness, a health issue, financial problems. They're not going to be there for you. If you can't give, if you can't provide anything more to them, then they're just going to leave you. They're just going to cut you off. And if they can't get rid of you that easily, if it looks bad on them in front of other people, then what they'll do is they'll just become so toxic to the point where you have to cut them off, where you have to get rid of them, so that it saves their reputation. And then they could just say that you were just crazy and you wanted to go, so they just let you go because they don't want to trap you. This is what they do. But I think most of you do have more life to you. You do have more to give. You're still a good source of supply. However, many of you may also be more aware now. You may be setting boundaries. You may be trying to create that separation between you and them, rather than you being an extension of them. And they will see that. They will see that you're standing up more for yourself now. You're recognizing who you are and what's yours and what's not yours, and what's theirs and what's not theirs. They know that you can see that distinction, that separation now. So then what they have to do is they have to target your boundaries, cross over your boundaries. Or they have to use other people outside of the relationship to get to you. Enablers, flying monkeys. They have to run smear campaigns, legal and financial manipulation, coercing you, forcing you, threatening and intimidating you. Just doing whatever it takes to keep you tied to them because they still need you. And the more that you try and get away, it just makes them very angry. Because in their warped minds, they feel like they've lost out. They feel like they deserve more from you. Because remember, they're very arrogant and entitled. They believe that they are inherently deserving of privileges and special treatment. And that's why they will hold on to you, because they feel like, in their minds, they are the victim. They feel like just their presence makes them worthy of more from you. Because remember, they have this false character who in their minds is perfect. So they expect you to see it as a privilege just to be around them. Just to be in their space, just to have them in your life. They expect you to see it as a privilege to get to take care of them. And to be their emotional punching bag. And in their minds, there should be a price to pay for that. You should have to take care of them. You should have to do whatever they want. Problem is, they have a void that can never be filled. They can't be satisfied. It doesn't matter what you do for them, what you give to them, it's never going to be enough. They're always going to want more from you. They're going to keep holding on to you. Because they can't be satisfied with themselves. No matter what you give to them, it's not going to make a difference. Yes, it might initially in the moment. When you're giving them that supply, you're boosting their self-esteem, you're feeding their ego, you're giving them money. Initially, it helps to distract them from their own feelings of inadequacy, but they can't sustain it because it isn't genuine. It's not generated from within. And deep down, they know that they don't deserve that from you. They know that they haven't done anything to earn it. And that's why they overcompensate for their insecurities with this grandiose facade. These delusions of grandeur. Constantly telling themselves that they are special. They are worth something. They do deserve to have whatever they want. Because deep down beneath that, they're actually very insecure. They have this inner critic, this inner dialogue that's constantly telling them that they're not good enough. And this is why they fight so hard against it. This is why they get so mad. Because they just don't want to accept that. They don't want to accept that they're not good enough. They don't want to accept that they are inadequate. They don't want to accept that, okay, maybe it's time for them to take care of you. They don't ever want to come to that conclusion. When actually by them doing that, by them thinking in that way, it's actually a form of self-harm. It's a form of self-sabotage because you are their source of supply. They need you to sustain their false self. So by them harming you, by them not giving you the proper care and attention that you deserve, by them not doing that, they are actually just sabotaging themselves. Because they need that from you. They need that fuel. They need your validation, your money. They need you to be their workhorse, their punching bag, their personal ATM. But how can you do all of those things? How can you fulfill all of those roles if they are not doing anything for you? If they are not taking care of you, if they are not being there for you, then how are you supposed to do any of that? And of course, that's what they don't think about. They don't process this in their minds because they're only thinking about it in the moment of what they need. They're not thinking ahead into the future. They're not going to think about how things are going to play out for them. And so this is how they end up just running you into the ground. Making you lose your mind. Turning you into a shell of yourself. Because they're not thinking about taking care of you. They're just thinking about their short-term interests, how they can get what they want. And of course, that comes at your expense. That comes at them taking away from you, depleting you, leaving you to become less than who you were before, to the point where you can no longer take care of them. You can no longer be who they need you to be. And of course, that's really not what they want. They want you to keep supplying them. But then at the same time, they want to think that they are above that. They are above having to do anything for you. And that you're just meant to serve them. And also from that initial narcissistic injury, where you didn't provide them with the excessive adoration that they needed, didn't do exactly what they wanted you to do when they wanted you to do it, now they're holding a grudge. Now they're experiencing a lot of bitterness and resentment, and they demand the world from you now. They want you to keep giving, and no matter how much you give, they're never going to let themselves be happy or satisfied with that. Because they're still holding on to something from the past. And sometimes it's not always with you, you know. You may have been perfect. You may have done everything right. And they're just holding on to something that happened in their childhood, where they felt like they were mistreated, they were neglected. They weren't given the treatment that they believed they deserved. And what I will say is that, all right, you know, there may be some truth to that. Maybe they should have been treated better. Maybe they weren't respected properly as a child. But many of us weren't as well, and yet we don't hold a grudge. We're not resentful. We're not expecting anyone to sacrifice their lives for us. And in fact, we're the opposite. Many of us are codependent. Many of us are giving more and more of ourselves. But no matter what we do, no matter what we give, it's never enough. And that's just it. No matter what you do for them, they're never going to be satisfied. Because essentially, they just want to be you. They want your life force to be theirs. And that's why they get around you, is because they envy you. It may appear as though they just want your stuff. They just want to take what's yours, and they want to make it theirs. But it actually goes deeper than that. I mean, yes, you know, they want your validation. They want to have a sense of control and superiority over you. They want your money and resources, your possessions. They want everything that they first set their sights on at the beginning, that they may have acted like they admired in you, but really they envied it. And that's why they never really supported or encouraged you on that, because they were trying to take it. So yes, they want all of those things, but what they really want, it's what they saw in your facial expressions, in your energy, your calmness. Or also it could have been how you were so motivated, so driven, so passionate, enthusiastic. That's what they want. They want those feelings to be theirs. And they assume that those feelings will come to them if they just have what's yours. If they just have whatever it is that you seem to be happy with. But it never works out that way. Because those feelings that you have, the way that you are satisfied with yourself, you are satisfied with your life, you are satisfied with the things that you have, those feelings were generated from within. They weren't coming from anything external. And the narcissist, you know, a lot of times they think that it's always the result of their relation. And many of us, we think that too. We think we're under a spell. But actually, these are just our authentic feelings from within. It's just the feelings of joy and appreciation that we have for life. And that's how we got tricked, because we saw the best in them. Because we see the best in ourselves. We believe in ourselves. And that's just it. When you believe in yourself, when you see the best in yourself, you tend to see the best in everything. You tend to believe in everyone. But as for them, that was all of a facade. They only believed in an illusion, in this fictitious character that they had created. And that's how you got involved with them, and then gradually it just slipped away. And then they wanted to turn against you and blame you for everything. This is what they always do at the end of the relationship. They always blame their own victim. They always make everything your fault. as though you can't do anything right, as though you need to be better. When it's like, all right, but at least let there be an equal exchange first. At least you do as much as I have done before you judge what I have done for you. But that's just it. They'll take from you, they will receive it, they will use it, but they will never appreciate it. They will never let you know the value of it. And instead they will discredit it, or they continue to take from you. Because that's what they want. They want someone who's going to supply them continuously without expecting anything back in return. No gratitude, no appreciation, no compliments, no equal exchange. Because they haven't got anything to give anyway. They're fake, they're manipulative. All they can give you is a facade. All they can do is make you believe in something that isn't even real. Well, as for you, you're genuine. But that's why they will never be grateful. They will never be appreciative of anything you do or give to them. Because if they were to do that, then that would mean that now it's their turn to do something for you. It's their turn to put in the work. And you may think that maybe they can, maybe they could be something for you. Because that's what they made you believe at the beginning. But the reality is that, no, that was just a false character. They're never going to be anything. They're never going to be even a fraction of what you were for them. It's never going to happen. You're never going to see it. That's never going to be a reality for you. Because that was you. What you saw in them was a reflection of yourself. They mirrored you. They pretended to be like you. And this is why they don't want to get you on that wavelength by them complimenting, appreciating you, being grateful for what you've given to them. Because automatically by them doing that, then you're going to be looking at them and thinking about, well, what can I appreciate in you? What can I be grateful for that you have provided to me? And of course, then you're going to come to the realization that they're not even worth being with. Because you're losing by being with them. You're actually not gaining anything. You're losing parts of yourself. You're losing everything that made you you in the beginning. Everything that they seem to like so much. Everything that drew them to you. You've lost all of that anyway. And that's the conclusion that you're going to come to if they were to ever just be satisfied with what you've done for them. You would realize that it was all for nothing. It was done in vain. Because they never even deserved it. Despite this arrogance, this attitude, this sense of superiority, it's all a facade. They actually can't even do anything for you. They can't be anything for you. It's just you. It's just your belief, your validation. That's what keeps it going. When you submit to them, when you let them dominate you, it keeps you subservient to them, where you're thinking that they are somewhat above you, that they have some sort of power, some sort of special ability that makes them worthy of everything they're getting from you. But when you actually look at what you're doing for them, when you begin to question it, then it begins to make more sense. Then you begin to realize that no, they don't deserve anything from you. They're fraudsters, they're con artists. They're just playing a role, they're pretending to be like you, so that you will give more and more of yourself to them. And that's how gradually, by the end of the relationship, you just end up becoming less and less like yourself. Just think about it like this, I mean, why would someone get around you? Why would someone target you? For certain things that initially they act like they admire about you, or if they keep coming back for more, why would they keep doing that? And at the same time, they're acting like they don't appreciate any of it, and though it's not that way. Why would they act that way? Why wouldn't they give you the proper compliments and praise that you deserve, the proper support and encouragement, based off everything they're getting from you, everything they're receiving? Why wouldn't they do that? It's because they want to keep getting from you. They want to keep taking. And they don't ever want it to stop. They want to keep the supply flowing endlessly. And they never want to have to do anything for you in return. Because if it ever came down to it, where they had to do something for you in return, you would then realize that it's not even worth your time. It's not worth anything anyway. Because they're never going to be able to build you up. They're never going to be able to make you better. And that's another thing that they feel insecure about. To where it's like, what's the point in them supporting or encouraging you? Because they know that they're liars, they're con artists. They can't do anything for you anyway. They can't build you up. They can't make you better. So that's another thing as well. In order for them to compliment or appreciate anything about you, it would make them feel insecure. Because they know that they don't even possess the qualities that you possess, the very qualities that they pretended to have. And so that's why they'd rather just not get on that wavelength. They'd rather just avoid these topics of anything about celebrating you. The very person who upgraded their lives, provided so many experiences to them, you did so much for them. And yet they can't ever acknowledge it. They can't ever acknowledge these things in you. And they're never going to. Because the moment they did that, you would realize you don't need anything from them. They can't do anything for you. You would realize that you're dealing with a fake, a fraud, a manipulator. Someone who can't do anything for you anyway. That's the conclusion that you would have. And that's why they will never let you know. That's why they will always play down everything that you do. And they will never let you have that. They will never let you have that acknowledgement of yourself. They do initially, but only because they try to make you think that they are just like you. And as though you should rightfully give to them of yourself. And of course, by you doing that, by you sharing that with them, it makes them feel like they're more and more like you. It continues this facades. It keeps the act going. But it's only because you just keep putting another coin in the machine. It's only because you keep pulling the string on the toy. That's what causes it to move. That's what causes it to keep going. It's only because you're fueling it. You're fueling the entire thing, the entire performance. And that's just it. You take your supply away and then it all falls apart. They can't keep it going without you. Because it is your realness, your authenticity. That's what makes it feel real for them. It's the fact that they can get a real person to acknowledge this false self, to validate it. But this is why you see them get so angry. When they realize that you're beginning to wake up. When they see that you're not susceptible to their relation anymore. When they see that happening. I mean, sometimes, they will try and intervene. They will try and get in the middle of it. Because, narcissists are very jealous and possessive. They're highly competitive in their minds. If you're no longer interested in them, if you see through them, there must be something greater than them that's pulling you away. That's how they see it. So sometimes they may try and explore, what are your passions? What are your interests? What is it that's taking your energy away from them? What's taking your attention? They may try and figure it out and get in the middle of it to get you to direct your energy, passion, and enthusiasm towards them. Or toward trying to fix or change them or improve the relationship. They may try that if they think it will work. But once they know that it's a lost cause, once they know that it's met its end, then they are going to get very angry. Once they know that they're losing you, it's going to make them really mad. Because it's going to trigger them to reflect other insecurities. It's going to make them feel inadequate. Because remember, they have this voice in their heads, this inner dialogue, this inner critic is telling them that they're not good enough, or they don't deserve anything. And they're constantly fighting against that. They're constantly telling themselves, no, I do deserve everything. I am the greatest. That's what they keep telling themselves in their minds, that they are special and that they can have whatever they want from you. Because they don't ever want to feel inadequate. They don't ever want to go within. And so they keep pushing back against it. They keep fighting it. And that's just it, when they feel like they're losing control over you, when they feel that your supply is slipping away, it's telling them that they are not good enough. It's telling them that they are inadequate. Because in their minds, it's black and white. If they are good enough, if they are special, if they are important, then it's all or nothing. Then they deserve it all. Then they can just do whatever they like with you, have whatever they like. Then they should be invincible, untouchable. Then they should not be able to do anything wrong. It's one or the other. It's black or it's white. This is what they do. So what do you do now? Knowing about this, knowing how much they need you. Because that's really it, they need you. They need your feelings. They want to get to feel what you feel. They want to feel empowered. They want to feel secure, stable, comfortable. They want to take those feelings from you. Because normally, they feel very unstable, insecure, powerless, helpless. that's how they typically feel. And they see you, they see that you're confident in yourself, you're comfortable in your own skin, you feel good, you're satisfied with yourself. They see that in you and they want it. They want to take it from you, so they're trying to figure out ways to get that. Of course, when you realize this, you've got to stop being their supply. You've got to set boundaries, you've got to say no. You've got to walk away if you feel yourself being depleted. Because these narcissists are like energy vampires. They will suck the life out of you. They will drain you for all you've got. Because they're empty. They don't have anything inside of themselves, and that's how they're able to take so much from you. Because they can never be satisfied. It's never going to be enough for them. But of course, when you set those boundaries, when you walk away, they are going to get very angry. It will cause a narcissistic injury, which will be followed by narcissistic rage. And they will lash out at you. They will seek vengeance. Because in their minds, by you setting that boundary, by you separating yourself from them in any sort of way, they see that as an attack on their false character. Because you're no longer giving them supply, you're no longer giving them validation. You're no longer giving them that control and making them feel superior. So they see that as an attack on their false character, which many of them in their minds believe to be real, because they're gaslighting themselves. So in their minds, they really are perfect. They really can't do anything wrong. So when you walk away, when you create separation, distance, when you try to protect yourself, you try to protect your energy, your health, your finances. When you do that, they see that as an attack. Because in their minds, they're special. They're important. They're entitled to you. They deserve to have access to you. They deserve to take whatever they like. Whatever will support them. At your expense. Even if it means that you get harmed. Regardless of what happens to you. That's how they see it, because in their minds, they're very arrogant. They're entitled. They believe that they're special. They believe that they're the best thing since sliced bread. And that's how there's just nothing that you can tell them. Because they're never going to accept themselves. They're never going to accept how they feel deep inside. Because deep inside, they do feel unworthy. They do feel inadequate. They do feel like they're not good enough. But they're not ever going to go within. And instead, what they're going to do is project that onto you. They disown the parts of themselves that they don't like and assign them to you. After they've consumed you. So they consume you almost like you're a food. They strip you of all of the nutrients, the vitamins that you possess, until you become malnourished. Because they've consumed all of that from you. And then they give you the waste. They disown what they don't like about themselves, and then they just pass it off onto you. And then they expect you to deal with that. That's what they do. They steal your confidence, your happiness, your joy, your enthusiasm about life, your satisfaction with yourself. They steal all of that. Then they give you their insecurities, their problems, their deficiencies, their feelings about themselves. And they blame you for their mistakes. They make you believe that you possess their flaws. Because they really just want to trade places with you. They want you to be them and they want to be you. This is what they want to do. And that's why when they feel you slipping away, when they sense that you're leaving, they begin to feel worthless, inadequate. their shame begins to resurface, because then they're left alone by themselves. And they don't feel good enough by themselves. They've got to have a source of supply. They've got to have someone who they can exploit. And that's why when they feel you slipping away, they want to pull you back. They want to get you back into it, so that they can continue using you. Because you are like their blood, you are like their life force. You're the only thing that's keeping them going. You're the only thing that makes them feel alive. You validate the false self. You make it feel real for them. You make them feel like they exist. Without you, they feel like they're nothing. They feel like they're worthless. And that's because deep down they are. And that's why they need a narcissistic extension, because they're not even good enough for themselves. But they don't ever want to accept that. They don't ever want to reflect on it. And that's why they just put that onto you. And you get involved with them, and it's like, at the beginning, you may have been so confident in yourself. You may have felt so good about yourself. You may have felt like things were going well for you, as you met someone who you could work with, who you could build something together. You may have felt like that at the beginning, and things were going well for you, but then you get around them, and then suddenly you start feeling insecure. You start feeling like you're not really good enough, like you're not really you. When before you had all of this confidence, optimism, energy, enthusiasm, and things were going well for you. Because that's just it. This is their problem. They are the ones who are fake. They are the ones who are manipulative, deceptive. And they want to make you believe that it's you. They want you to think that you're the one who's fake. When really, no, they wouldn't have gone around you. They targeted you because you're real, you're authentic. And because at the beginning we were blind to their tactics. We didn't know what was going on. That's why they got around us. But they want to twist it around on you and make you believe that you're the fake person. You're the one who wasn't who you said you were going to be. But no, they just depleted you. They didn't give you the proper support or encouragement. And yet they were constantly taken from you until you just couldn't do it anymore. That's the reality of it. But many of them never will realize. They will never see it, that it is them. That they are the issue, that they are the ones who are fake. Because they're gaslighting themselves. They are in denial. Narcissism is characterized by denial. They're not even in reality. They're feeding themselves a false narrative, whatever makes them feel better, instead of actually going within and doing the inner work. Because in their minds, they really believe that their false self is real. As long as they're getting supply. And this is why they will do anything to get it. Even when they leave you, they've got their enablers, their flying monkeys, a new source. All of these people to prop them up. To make them feel better, to make them feel like they are genuine. And then they play the victim and they make such a big scene to get everyone's attention, to get everyone on them, to get everyone to support their false narrative. Because this is the one thing they just don't want to accept, that it is them. That they are the liars, they are the ones who are fake. They just don't want to accept that. And this is why, again, they turn around and they blame you. They call you a manipulator. an abuser, they call you the narcissist, they make you feel like everything's your fault. They twist it around on you. And then it leaves you questioning yourself. It leaves you feeling like maybe you weren't good enough. Maybe you could have been better. Or maybe you're the narcissist and maybe you need help. This is what they do to you. But no, you just got to look back and remember, you were genuine. You were actually trying to build something with them. You were fully invested. You weren't just giving them lies or future faking. You were actually really doing for them. You were putting in the work. You were going all out for them. And that's what you got to remember. You weren't just talking the talk. You were actually walking the walk. They weren't walking the walk. They were just talking. And that is the difference. That's what separates us. They just talk about it. We actually do it. And we did do it. We did far more than we should have done for them. And that's really what this comes down to. It's the facts of the situation. The victim comes into the relationship with a lot and leaves with little or nothing. The narcissist comes into the relationship with very little and leaves with a lot. And yet they still twist it around on you. They play the victim. They call you the abuser. Well, hold on a minute. How come they have profited from being with you? How come they have upgraded themselves? How come you are the one who has been depleted? You are the one who is experiencing the health issues. It happens because it's a result of what they have done to you. They made you that way just by them being around you. Because this is the effect that they have on people. They are abusers, cheaters, liars, frauds. And this is how, just by them getting around you, they won't lift you up. They will turn you into someone that you're not and blame you for it. Well, as for them, they were already that same angry, miserable, resentful person long before they got involved with you. They were already that way. You weren't that way before. They made you that way by their presence, and they achieved that by constantly draining and depleting you, abusing you, manipulating, gaslighting you. That's how they achieve that result. Because people become very different when they're under extreme stress, extreme pressure. When they've had the life drained out of them, and they can no longer take care of themselves anymore. Because they're having to be the parent, the caretaker for someone who is barely capable of taking care of themselves. Someone who needs serious help, but also refuses to get help, refuses to accept that there's anything wrong with them. And yet, of course, because we do accept ourselves, it was very easy for them to blame and shame us because we were willing to go within. We were willing to take that on. We were willing to run endlessly on the hamster wheel and try to be better for them, to try and be exactly the person that they needed us to be. We were willing to do that. We were willing to pull our personality inside out, to let them mold us into whoever they wanted us to be. We were willing to do that. We were willing to go along with it. We gave it all. So it's a huge difference between a victim and a narcissist. And yet, like the master manipulators that they are, they manage to twist it around on us and make us believe that it's something wrong with us. They project and deflect it onto you. The very things that they are ashamed of, or that they're trying to justify or deny. They make it your problem. They make themselves, their issues, their trauma. They make that your problem for you to fix. They turn you into their personal therapist. And it's a problem that you cannot fix. You can't fix them. We can only fix ourselves. And yet, they expect you to fulfill that role. And it's just something that cannot be done. And yet, because inevitably, you know, we are inherently capable of fixing another person, because of that, they call us the abuser, they call us the narcissist, because we cannot fix them. We cannot make them better. We cannot make them right. So in their minds, that's our fault because we didn't rescue them. We didn't save them. It's completely delusional. And all we expected from them, we didn't even expect an equal exchange. Many of us, we just expected at least a fraction of what we put out. We didn't even get that. And this just reveals how pathetic they are. I mean, just think about it. What they presented themselves to be at the beginning, everything they made you believe that they were, they didn't even become a fraction of that for you. Well, as for you, you went all out. Many of you, you did everything you said you were going to do, and so much more. You did everything until you couldn't do it anymore. And that's when they then turned on you. That's when they started to blame you. That's when they made it out like everything is your fault. Because they are just completely heartless. They feel nothing for you. They only care about themselves. All they care about is their own needs. They're like a big baby in an adult body. All they can think about is their own needs. They don't think about the unpleasant effects that they're having on you. They don't think about how they're draining you. And at least, you know, from a baby, from a young child, it's kind of understandable. They're not developed properly to take into consideration another person's feelings or needs. Now, narcissists, they do have cognitive empathy. They can read into your feelings and situation if they want to. The problem with them is that they just don't want to. They just want to continue thinking about themselves. For them, it's too draining for them. It's like just how once they've drained a life out of you, once they've completely depleted you, and you've got nothing left to give, you know how that feels where you just can't do anything anymore? You just feel like giving up. That's how they feel all of the time. And this is why they're just constantly focused on themselves. They're constantly just needing your help, needing you to attend to them. Because they're in that state of depletion all the time. All the while you're constantly giving to them. No matter what you do, it's never enough. But yeah, this is it. This is how they react when you leave. Many of them, they go crazy. When they know that you're already done, you're not coming back, they will lose their minds. Yeah, some of them may be more cocky, more arrogant. If they really think that they're that great, they may assume that you're going to come back. So they may just give it some time, and while they're waiting, they may entertain another source of supply. But many of them are going to be holding on. Many of them are going to get very angry when you try to part ways. When you try to separate yourself from them. They're not going to like it. And they're going to try and affect you in some way. They're going to try and reattach themselves to you and keep you trapped with them. Because they need you as their supply. They need you to validate these illusions. They need you to make them feel real. "64 live viewers, give it a thumbs up if you found this helpful so far. I'm just out here giving you the information that you need to know. The information that you may not hear on many of the videos on YouTube. But it is important and it is real. This is what's really going on. This is why they hold on to you. This is why they need you. This is why they can't let you go. And this is how they're going to react when you leave. But now I'd like to hear from you. Let me know in the live chat if you have any questions. I will read them out and respond to them. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it together. Raster says everything they do is rehearsed and scripted. It is. Everything is an act. It's not coming from an authentic being. It's all just bits and pieces that they've taken from other people. Bits and pieces that they did not deserve. That were not a genuine part of themselves. They just saw it in someone else and they thought this would look good. This would help me to manipulate someone, so they took it. They robbed it. They didn't earn it. They didn't deserve it. Thank you, Jake's Jumbo Thoughts. I appreciate the kind and supportive words there. HJ says negative too. So much negativity. He was better than everyone in his mind, including women. But idealized me for a while. I was able to cover that up until the devaluation began. Yeah, they are very negative. They're very pessimistic. And it's really just to take away from you, to make you feel less so that you do more. Because they just want you to keep providing them with that supply. They don't ever want it to stop, so they play it down, everything that you're doing. They constantly take away from you because they want you to keep giving, to keep chasing, to keep pouring into them. But as for him thinking he's better than everyone in his mind, including women, I mean, personally, myself, I don't think women are greater than men. To me, it's more, we're equal. We're just equal in different ways. We all have our own strengths and abilities. And of course, you know, there's always exceptions as well. Like some people might say that men are stronger, physically stronger than women. And yeah, maybe most men are physically stronger than women. But then there's going to be some men who aren't that strong. And then there's going to be some women who are very strong. But at the same time, I think generalizations do help as well. Even though, many of us may not like to admit it, the reality again is that, yeah, you can make generalized statements about certain groups of men or certain groups of women. Maybe not men and women as a whole. Connie McKinley asks, is it typical for them to get violent when you leave? Yeah, sometimes, if they feel like nothing else is going to work, or they have to force you, then yes, sometimes they will do that. They will become forceful. They typically become forceful when you start standing up for yourself, when you set boundaries, when you recognize the separation, when you refuse to go along with their narrative, when you don't respond positively to the love bombing. Then they will typically become forceful. They will force you into things. And of course, when you deal with a forceful narcissist, it can become very dangerous. Because at that point, they've made it up in their minds that they need this from you. And they're not going to accept no for an answer. They're not going to walk away. And they're going to do whatever it takes to get it. So that's when it can become very dangerous, and you do have to be very careful. Penelope Lane asks, did you gain this knowledge through personal experience as well as education? Yeah, I've had a lifetime of personal experience. I did a video a few months ago, a live video, talking about how I am 36 and married with no home. And in that video, I really outlined everything that I've been throughout my life. The main things, of course, there's far too much for me to list in one video. But yeah, I've had extensive personal experience of narcissistic abuse, which of course includes manipulation, deception, blame shifting, gaslighting, smear campaigns, gang stalking. I've experienced it all for many years. And not only that, but I have also been watching videos on YouTube and TikTok for over 7 years now, every day. And many of the videos that I watch are by specialized doctors, psychologists in narcissism. So where better to get the information? This is where I learn most of this from. And then of course I bring it into my videos with my own style of doing it, my own style of expressing it. But I can tell you, if you look back throughout my videos, especially my recent ones, you listen to everything I'm saying, and you watch a video by maybe a psychologist on YouTube, you'll find that what I'm saying is the same thing. And actually, I invite you to do that. And I would appreciate it, because I'm always looking to correct myself and improve on anything that I can. So if you ever feel like I've said something That's not factual. That's not true. If any of you ever think that about something, anything that I say regarding narcissism, you are welcome to link the video, leave a reference to a psychologist video or an article, and yeah, prove me wrong. I'm happy to be proven wrong. I don't want to continue on a path where I'm saying things that are not true. But I am pretty convinced that everything I'm saying is true. Because yeah, I have been researching this now every day for over 7 years, and I've got a lifetime of personal experience. So of course at this point I am pretty confident. Pretty confident in everything that I know. Despite that, the learning never ends. I still want to learn more. I am hungry for knowledge. Hungry for experiences too. Of course, I don't particularly like dealing with narcissists. But when I do encounter personalities like that, it gives me another chance to learn. So I hope that helps, Penelope Lane. Kim H says, after we broke up, I found old comments on social media and it sounded like a completely different person. It will, because they do switch it up from time to time. It's like they have multiple personalities. They're like comedians, shapeshifters. They get a whiff of something in someone that they think makes them look attractive or makes them look important, credible. And they then want to take on that. And it's not something where, they're genuinely interested and genuinely passionate about it. And they're just kind of making it, like they're like modeling it. Because it's kind of already a part of them. It's already something that they are inclined to do or that they are adjusted to. It's not like that with them. They are faking it. They're pretending to be something to try and get things that they see that other person getting. It's not something they really care about. And that's the difference. Because of course, some of us, we get inspired. I know I do, and that's why many of my videos, you may find that they can seem like a similar style to other YouTubers' videos. Of course they will, because, for a start, I've been watching these videos every day for over 7 years. So yeah, I've definitely been influenced. I didn't just drop out of the sky from another planet. And I don't deny that. I always give other YouTubers credits. I always reference them in my videos. Because I appreciate their work. And, definitely, I wouldn't be the person that I am today without the people who have influenced me. There's no doubt about that. But you won't ever hear that from the narcissist. They will take from you. They will take things that they're not even passionate about or interested in, and they will use it to manipulate you or other people. This is what they do. They're completely fake. And they will take whatever they think works. Whatever they think is going to get them attention and validation. They will copy people's style. Even though they didn't even care about it. And this is what happens. Because you get involved with them thinking they care about something. Thinking they're passionate about it. Thinking that that's what they want. Then you get involved with them. You're giving to them and you wonder, what happened to this person? Where is this character? Because it's like you don't see them now. And that's just it. They never existed. It was just a tool they used to manipulate you. Racer says no contact is the only way. It is the only way when you deal with a narcissist. There's no doubt about that. Because whenever you're around them, all they're going to do is twist everything, manipulate you. The best you will ever get from them is manipulation, an illusion. They can only distort everything and then feed it back to you, to the point where then your brain is all muddled up and you don't know what's going on. You cannot be in contact with them. They are delusional. They are crazy. They're pretty much crazy. They're out of touch with reality. In their minds, they are perfect. They can't do anything wrong. They believe they're entitled to whatever they want. We're not having to do anything to earn it. If that's not crazy, I don't know what is. And that's why, yes, Racer, you are right. No contact is the only way. But also what I will say, which unfortunately, many YouTubers, TikTokers, they're not saying this enough. But you do need to be very careful when you go in no contact. It could trigger their narcissistic rage. They could become violent. Same thing when you go limited contact or when you go grey rock. Be very careful when you do that. Narcissists can be very dangerous. And this is why I advise that you speak to a therapist or coach first. And you are welcome to book a one-on-one with me, which you can do on my website, narcsurvivor.co.uk. Because you need to speak to someone who can understand your situation. But they can gain an understanding of the personality that you're dealing with, so that you can then plan ahead for how this person might react once you cut them off. It's not always that simple to go no contact, although yes, at some point that's what you need to do. I mean, you can't remain attached to them for life. There's more to your life than just being a slave. You didn't come to this world to live for someone else. You came here to live your own life, to have your own purpose. And that's just what you're supposed to do. Don't let anyone tell you anything otherwise. You deserve to have your own life, your own separate existence. You shouldn't just be someone's slave. You shouldn't just exist to serve them. This is what narcissists want you to think. And that's why I'm on here every day, empowering you, giving you the truth, letting you know. Because I want to see you being free. I don't want you to be confined anymore. It's kind of like it's like a trap behind a fence. And there's this big world out there. There's so many things for you to explore, so many things for you to do. And the narcissist just want to keep you trapped behind the fence, to serve them, to make them feel good, to support their false narrative. That's what they want you to do. They don't think about you. They don't think about how they're depriving you of your life, your existence, of the experiences that you could have. None of that matters to them. They will waste your entire life. And they will never tell you that you deserve better. And that is why I do what I do. These videos are the key that unlocks your freedom. And I know that narcissists in your life, they just want to keep closing the door. And that is why I keep uploading these videos. It provides an opening to you. Because I don't want you to be trapped anymore. I believe that every human being is entitled to their freedom. No one should be trapped. No one should be a prisoner. Especially when they haven't even done anything wrong. Chosen 11 says, hate to see you happy. It hurts them so bad. Yeah, that's just it. That's how you know that they're miserable. They're never going to be happy. Because they can't be happy for you. Their sense of identity is tied to you. It's tied to you not feeling good about yourself. It's tied to you not moving on. Because they can't move on. They'll never move on. They'll always be stuck. They'll never find truth. They'll never find happiness within themselves. And that's why they've got to get that from you. They've got to steal your joy. They've got to steal your happiness. They've got to steal everything good that is about you. Nate says, my narc was my roommate for almost a year. Finally got myself out of the situation. I got work mobbed and followed by drones. Is this a common experience for everyone here? It may not be the most common experience, but you know, in the age of technology now, people may start to see more drones chasing after them, of course. We are seeing more tracker devices on people's cars, phones, people tapping into their devices, putting spyware on it, putting pinhole cameras in their home, just doing all sorts of things, like following them around, stalking them on social media. These things are starting to happen now because technology is developing, it's becoming more affordable. So narcissists now have access to this technology. Of course, they will abuse it. They will abuse, weaponize anything they get their hands on. And this is why I try to make you aware of that as well, is that many of you, yes, you may have a tracker device on your car. You may have spyware on your phone. You may have a pinhole camera in your home. You may have all these things because, you know, it's what keeps you as their source of supply. It's what gives them that control of you. It gives them validation. It makes them feel superior again. It's what they want. So of course they're going to utilize these tools. So definitely, you know, be cautious, be aware of these things. Be aware that yes, technology is developing. And, you know, these technologies are available to them. And I've seen it myself, you know. I've spoken to my clients who have experienced this. They found that there's spyware on their phones. They found a tracker device on their car. They have been aware that there was a pinhole camera in their home. And I've even seen evidence of this. Not from a narcissist themselves, but I remember there was one of my clients from Mexico, and he wanted to catch his narcissistic wife out. So he installed a pinhole camera in his home. And he sent me the footage to my email. So I've seen it myself. I've seen the actual evidence. I've got to come over this way now because they're playing loud music as well. But yeah, I've seen the actual evidence. And, you know, some people, they still think that, you know, it's difficult to believe. They don't think that someone can actually do this. You could just do a quick search on the web. You can purchase the spyware, the equipment, the tracking devices, the pinhole cameras. It's all affordable now. And this is real technology. Any of you can go online to buy these devices. So yes, narcissists are doing this. I've spoken to many of my clients who are experiencing it. Dari Hardaway, capital letters, I like it. Boundaries. Yes, boundaries are very important. Recognize that narcissists do not deserve to be around you. They don't deserve to be in your personal space because they're liars, they're frauds. They will exploit you. They're dangerous, they're harmful. And that's why the further away you can be from them, the better. The closer you get to them, the more they're just going to harm you. That's all that they're going to do. Because all they care about is what they want. They don't care about what you're going through. Jake's Jumbled Thoughts says, oh yes, it's organised stalking. I'm hard targeted and that's why I have major surveillance set up. I was assaulted last year too. Pistol whipped, cracked skull, punctured eardrum. Yeah, they will come after you because, they just feel like they're missing a piece of themselves and that piece is in you. They feel like you have something that they want. And this is why they can't let you go. This is why they're on you. And their false sense of identity is tied to you. They can't move on. They can't be happy without having control over you. But as you may see, I've done some videos on gang stalking. Many videos. I've done some live videos too. They're very informative. And there will be many more to come because I've seen that over the past month, it's mostly my gang stalker videos that are getting most of the views. So I will keep going with that. Racer says the older they get, the madder they become. Sometimes that may be the case. But a lot of times they do actually become more covert, more manipulative, and just victim playing. They're not like the warriors that they used to be when they were younger. Now they're all just about just manipulating people, playing the victim, and just being more covert. They settle down a lot as they get older, in most cases. Their narcissistic tendencies may decrease. But that's on the data that we have so far. I mean, who's to say, with social media, like even for older narcissists now, there's still an abundance of supply online. And, older narcissists have far more access to things that they didn't before. And of course, that just continues to fuel the illusion, to fuel their disorder. So who knows how this will affect things? I mean, maybe they will be high-functioning narcissists for longer. Well, as for us, of course, what allows us to function is peace and quiet. Separation from other people, not just constantly being followed around. But that's what does it for them because they have no true identity. People are saying that the live is frozen. Yeah, that's the thing that people have been saying recently is that they just shut off the live. If it comes back on, let me know. It's back. Great. Yeah, it's kind of like a new feature that I haven't heard about before. But people have been saying recently that it just freezes, just shuts off. It's like I've been saying for a very long time, you know, they don't want people to know about this. Many people in this world are just living a fake life, dependent on addictions, using people to make themselves feel better. And they don't want anyone to bring the truth, because that would mean that they would have to seek help. They would have to do the work. And they just want to be children forever. They don't ever want to have to grow up. They don't ever want to be responsible. And as for us, we actually want to do the work. And by us taking that responsibility, it makes other people feel obliged to do that as well, when they don't want to. So this is why they want to drown us out. And also because they want to continue exploiting people. They don't want to be held accountable. They don't want to be exposed. And, you know, it's too bad, because there's people out here being exploited, taken advantage of. People being robbed of their lives. Being robbed of the person who they could have been, who they should have been. And that's what motivates me. That's why I'm never going to stop. I'm going to keep going for as long as people need to hear this. As long as people continue to show an interest and watch my videos, I'm never going to stop. Because I saw it from the very beginning. I could see my views were increasing dramatically. All of these subscribers, I can see that people need to know this. People are ready to wake up. And so I'm here for you. Because unlike so many people in this world, I actually care. I care about the victims. I care about bringing you truth. I care about empowering you. And I am never gonna stop, no matter what. And that's really my mission. And you know, maybe at some level it is because of what was done to me. Maybe it's because I was manipulated, I was robbed, I was exploited time and time again throughout my life. I was surrounded by vicious predators, vultures. And maybe, you know, this is just a part of what heals me. Is to be able to fulfill this role for you. But yeah, make sure to show your support. Hit that thumbs up button down below. Let's work together to boost the YouTube algorithm. Together we can get these videos out there. Because clearly there was a need, there was a demand for this content. For this specific content, these specific types of videos more than anything else. And clearly certain people are not receiving this content anymore. So let's work together, let's hit the thumbs up button, make sure it gets out. Make sure that other people can benefit from this information. Make sure that it can guide them, comfort them. And another thing that helps is if you comment down below as well. The more comments there are in the comment section, the more it helps the YouTube algorithm, so that YouTube will recommend the videos. I've checked my analytics and YouTube is not recommending my videos as much anymore. Nowhere near as much as they used to. And in fact, most of my viewers come from other sources rather than YouTube recommendations. So, definitely continue the support. Give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below on every video that you can. I read your comments every day. And if you're new here, subscribe, click on notifications. That way you will be notified when I go live again. Your donations are greatly appreciated, no matter how small. You can donate through my PayPal. It's paypal.me/Narc Survivor. And also, if you would like guidance to support your healing journey, you could book a one-on-one with me by going to my website. It is narcsurvivor.co.uk. I have been posting some short videos and quotes on my Instagram, so you can check that out by following me. It's Narc Survivor YouTube on Instagram. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Continue to show your support. Keep liking the videos, commenting, subscribe, share the videos if you can. Let's keep pushing this content out there to give support to those who need it. Thank you all for joining me on another live video, and I will talk to you soon.